Hello, I'd like to share with you the cost of running a Tesla Model 3 for 30,000 miles, including insurance, road tax, repairs, servicing, tyres, depreciation and charging costs, as well as comparing to the cost of petrol and a great list of the best and worst depreciation brands with lots of surprises, so I do hope you can stick around. Thanks very much for joining me today. I'm Nigel. Hope you can subscribe and like. That would be absolutely fantastic. Comment below if you've got something interesting to say, especially if you've got some good data on the cost of running your car. That would be fantastic. So this is my 30,000 mile review of my Tesla Model 3, which is 4.5 years old. It's not many miles, and I would have covered that in about 6 months a few years ago when I was a company representative. Well, maybe it was a few more years than just a few. I've always kept detailed costs of all my cars. I did think about comparing this Tesla Model 3 to the Audi A3 I had before, but it was an older car, out of warranty, and the Tesla is in warranty, and it's a much superior car. I'll show you later what the 30,000 miles would have cost in petrol. Okay, starting with repairs and servicing. The first 4 years, the Tesla had a basic vehicle limited warranty, so there was nothing to pay. It also comes with 8 years or 100,000 miles battery and drive unit warranty. Just out of the basic warranty, I did have a £420 bill because the motion detector was faulty on the touchscreen, and they also replaced the windscreen wipers and replaced the air filter during the service. Now, under warranty, they had repaired the hydraulics for the boot, which I used manually for a few weeks until it was repaired for free under warranty. At 25,000 miles, I replaced the tyres, which cost me £650. I've had 2 MOTs now with absolutely nothing wrong, and its cost was £110. Paid my first road tax, costing £195 at 30,000 miles quite recently, and the first 4 years the road tax was £0. Insurance is something that people will often tell you is very expensive with an EV, but it's based on where you live and who you are. I do live in a very safe area, and I've had a lot of no claims bonuses, and I'm quite old, so my insurance is very reasonable, and also I don't drive like an idiot. The first year my insurance was £378, second year £355, then the highest £568, 2024 £406, so it had dropped and then it fell a bit more to £384, making a grand total of £2,091 for 5 years insuring a Tesla Model 3. I always shop around, as most insurance companies think we're all lazy and will accept 20-30% increase, but I don't. I save hundreds of pounds by chopping and changing every year if necessary with my insurance company, and it really doesn't take very long to save a few £100. Now, my charging costs compared to petrol. I've done 30,000 miles, approximately 2/3, 20,000 miles were at home, and that cost me 8.5p a kilowatt hour on the nighttime rate with Octopus Energy. Over the lifetime of the car, it's achieved 224.6 watts per mile, which is 4.31 miles a kilowatt hour. So charging at home 20,000 miles has cost me £394. 1/3 of my miles, 10,000, were at Tesla superchargers, mostly on long trips to Spain, Portugal, Wales, England, and about half were free, as I had 5,000 miles free supercharging through the referral program, which is open to any Tesla owner whose friends and families buy a new Tesla, and I had about 3. You can also get free supercharging using my referral link down below if you buy a new Tesla in any country, and on some used Teslas on the Tesla website. Not forgetting there are still some 10-year-old Tesla Model S's around you can buy with a lifetime free supercharging, which I've always believed is a great bargain for under £13,000 on Auto Trader, and I would probably buy one if I didn't live so far from a Tesla supercharger, as I live on a remote Scottish island. So my 5,000 miles approximately of Tesla supercharging cost on average 40p a kilowatt hour, and I often took advantage of the much cheaper charge before 8 a.m. in the morning and after 11 p.m. at night on road trips. My 5,000 miles of Tesla supercharging based on 4.31 miles a kilowatt hour is 1,160 kilowatt hours. At 40p is £464, making a total of £858 of charging at home at the nighttime discounted rate and using the Tesla superchargers, and not always at the peak rates. You might say that's all very well if you own a Tesla and can use the Tesla supercharger network, but now most EVs can use many Tesla superchargers, so you don't have to be paying the ridiculous amounts Ionity, BP, Shell and even GridServe have gone up a lot lately. They're charging you, and they think you're going to continue paying forever when you can charge at under half their prices. So you have a choice of either paying $10.99 a month subscription, then you pay the same as the Tesla owners, and some are as low as 20p a kilowatt hour, 11 at night to 8 a.m. in the morning, and many of the daytime rates are between 40 and 42p a kilowatt hour. Or you can pay as you go. You pay 14p a kilowatt hour more than Tesla owners, but there's no subscription. I've worked it out. If you use more than 80 kilowatt hours a month, it would pay you to pay the Tesla subscription instead of pay as you go. But I also know what some of you are thinking and just about to start writing about depreciation. Why haven't I included depreciation? Well, Auto Express have done a lot of research and presented which car brands depreciate the most. Because the media like to present the electric vehicles in a bad light, you hear many stories of electric vehicles being terrible at depreciation. Now, it may be true for some expensive, overpriced SUVs and EVs, but not all. And as the media only present bad news, never good news, you may be thinking that all EVs are poor at depreciation. But that's not true when you look at the evidence. Now, this is what Auto Express found were the best cars with the minimum depreciation. The best car they found was Land Rover, retaining 58.2% of its value after 3 years and 36,000 miles. Second was Morgan, retaining 58%. Porsche was 54% retention. That surprised me. Alpine, a fast Renault, is 53.7%. Dacia, 53.6%. And Tesla came sixth at 51.8% after 36,000 miles. So you thought, like many, or even the majority, that all EVs had poor depreciation. But that's not so, with the Tesla beating the majority of legacy manufacturers. So if we go down the list, you've then got Maserati, Mini, Renault, and this is in order going down, Toyota, Bentley, J-Co, VW, Hyundai, Kia, Smart, Cupra, Lexus, Abarth, Ford, Skoda. BMW retained only 47.4% after 3 years or 36,000 miles. Honda, Audi, BYD, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo, MG, Subaru, Volvo, Ineos, Chery, Polestar, Nissan, Mazda, Suzuki, Skywell, Citroen and Genesis. And there are more to come. KGM, Leap Motor, Peugeot, Fiat, Xpeng, Jeep, Seat, Lotus, Vauxhall, DS Automobiles, MEV, Silence, Jaguar, second to last, and GWM Aura. So this is the reason I haven't included depreciation for my Tesla, simply because it actually depreciates less than all but just a few cars. Noticeably, how much worse are BMW, Mercedes, Ford, Jaguar, Renault, Toyota, Hyundai, Volkswagen, Honda, Audi, Polestar, MG, Subaru, and many more depreciate more than a Tesla. How many times in the comments have drivers of all those cars told me how bad my Tesla is depreciating? I do love facts and information. It's great. Repairs and servicing 420, tyres 650, MOT 110, DVLA road tax only for 1 year 195, insurance for 5 years just over 2,000, charging Tesla and at home £858, came to a whopping £4,324. That's for 4.5 years, 30,000 miles. Now, 4324, that was the pounds, divided by 30,000 is 14.41 pence per mile. And if you look at RACAA, you'll find that the cost of petrol is somewhere between 14p a mile and 20. But this is for everything. It's repairs, servicing, tyres, MOT, road tax and insurance. And just looking below, we've got the cost of what 30,000 miles would cost for petrol at 1.45 a litre. Funny, isn't it, how we buy petrol in litres, but no one ever works out the cost per litre. It's a nonsense, and it's almost as if they've done this on purpose to make it as confusing as possible, because most people still think in miles per gallon, not miles per litre, and it's just one of those things that really no one really wants you to know. Petrol actually works out at £6.58 a gallon. So if you do 45 miles a gallon, 30,000 miles, that would cost you £4,386, which is just a little bit more than the total cost, or the mine total cost, not just for the fuel. The car does 40 miles per gallon, it would cost £4,935, so that's a lot more than my total cost. And at 35 miles a gallon, the 30,000 miles would cost you £5,640, a heck of a lot more than it's cost me. And it would also cost a lot more if you went to motorway services. Now some of you will say, oh no, I don't pay anything like that, and I do 65 miles a gallon.
These are terrible.
So I'm looking forward to the next time a driver of a Volkswagen, BMW, whatever, says how much I'm going to lose on my Tesla. Yes, it's gone down. Any car goes down. I've spent a lifetime of not buying new cars. It's going to keep it a long time. And and of course, when people do leave comments, if you've got a comment, please, and any information, that would be great, because I do love information to look at, see how it's actually compared. Yeah, if you do have any comments, please leave them down below. Looking forward to it. Most people who tell me how bad the depreciation of my car is don't actually tell me what car they got, and I think that will continue, because now I've got the evidence of how much cars are depreciating. If anyone's got anything contrary, I'm sure there may be, please let me know. Okay, so thanks ever so much for getting this far. If you did, I hope you can subscribe and like, and obviously leave any comments below, especially if you've got any data about your vehicle, whether it's electric or ICE car. That would be absolutely fantastic. Drive safely. Don't forget to take your reusable coffee, tea mug, wherever you go. Saves billions and billions of paper cups daily going into the recycling that cannot be recycled. So thanks very much. Please take a look at some of my other videos. Thanks a lot. Bye now.